The first thing we need to make these delicious pastries are some fresh apricots. Simply take your apricots, run your knife around them, cutting down to the stone, the same way you would prepare an avocado. Pop them open, remove the stone, and leave them in halves. Once you've destoned your apricots, we need a frying pan on a medium heat. Add a nice generous knob of butter. Once the butter starts to melt through, chuck in your halved apricots. Give the pan a shake, covering them in the butter, and we just want to cook these out for 2 or 3 minutes until they start to get soft. Once they start to get soft, chuck in another little knob of butter, and we need some brown sugar. Scatter over a couple of teaspoons of brown sugar, give them another couple of minutes in the pan until they're beautifully caramelized, and then chuck your apricots into a bowl and stick them to one side while we make our custard. We're going to make a beautiful vanilla custard, so we need to start with some free-range eggs. Remove the yolks from the eggs and stick those into a bowl. We want about 4 or 5 yolks, and then we're going to need some corn flour or some plain flour. Add about a tablespoon of your flour, and then we need some sugar. Add about a tablespoon of your sugar, and then you want to whisk everything together until you almost have a yellow paste. Next, you want to take some fresh vanilla pods and simply slice down the side of your vanilla pods, open them up, and spend a minute to scrape out all of the beautiful fragrant seeds. Pop the vanilla seeds onto a spoon and keep the pods. Next, pop a pan onto a low to medium heat and pour in equal parts full fat milk. Go in with about a pint, and we need some double cream. Pour in a pint of your double cream. Pop your vanilla seeds and vanilla pods into the milk, and then gently stir that through and very, very gently infuse the beautiful vanilla flavors into the milk. Don't let it come up to a boil. Give it a little bit of time to gently infuse, and after about 5 minutes, you want to very slowly start pouring your milk into the egg mixture. So go in with about a ladle at a time and vigorously whisk. Pour all of your milk and cream into the egg yolks as you beat it through, and then you want to pour the custard into the same saucepan, and we want this custard to be a little bit thicker than usual. So if you want, you can also add another tablespoon or so of flour depending on how you get on, but we do want the custard to be nice and thick. Once you have a beautiful thick creamy custard, just pop that into a small bowl or a ramekin and just leave that to one side with your apricots. Next, the pastry. Here I'm using shop bought puff pastry, but you can always make your own, entirely up to you. And you want to cut the pastry into slices about the size of your hand. Turn over the corners of the pastries, almost making a border or a crust to hold in all of that beautiful custard. Once you have your pastry cases, we just want to pop those into a preheated oven, 180 degrees, and bake those off for about 5 to 10 minutes until they start to get beautifully puffed up and start to go lightly golden brown. And very quickly, if you could just hit that like button if you're enjoying the video. Once your pastries have started to puff up, get them out of the oven and then gently poke down the center so you've got a nice well in the middle of the pastry, and we need to spoon in our lovely creamy custard. Once you have your creamy custard in your pastry cases, you want to take your apricots and lay a couple of pieces of the lovely caramelized apricots on top of your custard, and then your tarts go back in the oven for another 5 minutes until the pastry is lovely and golden brown and you can see that the custard has almost started to set. Pop your pastry onto a plate, and you want to finish with a dusting of some lovely powdered sugar. You can eat them warm or cold, the best way to start the day. Some delicious custard and apricot tarts.